But I will say and acknowledge this: about 1.5 million of our fellow Minnesotans voted for the other side in this election. And while there might not be a place in our state for the most extreme elements of that agenda, there should be a place in our politics for everyone to be heard.
In the days following Donald Trump's re-election as president, we have seen blue state governors do exactly what we need in this moment and say that they are not giving up, but they are fighting back, going on the offensive and preparing for the Trump presidency instead of allowing Donald Trump to do whatever he wants. And one of those governors is the vice president that we should have had in Tim Walz, and in a speech that he gave today, that was half of a concession speech, but half of a plan for the future. He went on the offensive against Donald Trump, and it is exactly what I wanted to see out of Tim Walz, and we are going to get into that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you enjoy our channel and the fight that we are going to be in together, if you can hit that subscribe button, it goes a long way. Now, let's get into Tim Walz's speech right here.
Look, Minnesota always has and always will be there to provide shelter from the storm. As long as I'm governor of Minnesota, we will protect a woman's right to make her own health care decisions. As long as I am governor of Minnesota, we will welcome immigrants with gratitude for their contributions to our communities. As long as I'm governor of Minnesota, we will stand with the rest of the world in fighting climate change and developing new clean energy solutions. As long as I'm governor of Minnesota, we'll be a state that respects democracy, a place where we're proud of our civic debate and where we don't demonize people who disagree with us. As long as I'm governor of Minnesota, we will defend our kids' freedoms to go to school without worrying about being shot dead in their classrooms. And by the way, as long as I'm governor, Minnesota will always be a labor state, a state that stands with working people no matter who they voted for.
You are seeing action like this from governors like Jared Polis or Governor Gavin Newsom, J.B. Pritzker, saying right now that they will not let Donald Trump attack reproductive freedoms in their states. They will not let them attack the values in their states that have been so hard fought and won. And this is exactly what we need when people are feeling down, when people feel like there's no way to go, nowhere to go. We need to let them know that there is a path forward and the resistance to Donald Trump. And that is exactly what Tim Walz said. Said he's not done fighting. Said it right here.
That's what this is all supposed to be about. Not who's right or wrong, not who's winning or losing, but are we moving things forward together or are we falling apart? I still believe with all my heart, America can be a place where no child is left hungry, no community is left behind, and no one gets told they don't belong. That's right. And the reason I believe it so strongly is I've seen it with my own eyes because it's happened right here in Minnesota. And because of our example, millions of Americans believe in it too. Let's keep working to grow security, opportunity, and freedom for all our neighbors. Let's keep fighting for the things we believe in with compassion, with dedication, and with joy. And let's keep making Minnesota an example for the rest of this great nation. I love this country. I love this state. I love this job. And I'm not done fighting for Minnesota, not by a long shot. So thank you, Minnesota. Thank you, and let's get it done.
We cannot be done fighting. We have to pick ourselves up and start moving forward, because if we don't, who will? Donald Trump is not waiting to start rolling with the attacks that he wants to make on our democracy, on our institutions, and on our freedoms and civil liberties. And so we cannot sit back. We have to continue to move. And although Donald Trump seemingly won an overwhelming man mandate with a popular vote victory, and at this point seems like he will win both the Senate and the House, we know that his policy positions are deeply unpopular, and his attacks on our fundamental freedoms must be stopped. And that is exactly what Tim Walz was talking about right here.
But I have to be honest with you, what struck me everywhere I went, without exception, people really wanted the same basic things out of an American life. And I want to be clear, when I say basic things, I mean things like meaningful work, safe neighborhoods, good schools, affordable quality health care. But I also mean something more. It became clear to me, people want security. And I mean that broadly. They want to feel like their life is built on a solid foundation that won't collapse under them if the wind blows the wrong way or something happens. People want an opportunity where they feel like they can get ahead, not just settling to get by, and they really are concerned about giving their kids a chance to get ahead. And I think most of all, and you saw it in a very deep way, people want freedom to live their lives the way they want to live them. It's not the way maybe their neighbors wouldn't want to live them the same way, but the freedom is supposed to be everybody's birthright, not because of how much money you had or where your family came from, no matter who you love, or how you prayed, or what you think about the issues of the day are. And everywhere I've gone, I've had the opportunity to tell people how things work here in Minnesota.
We have to remember it is the Democratic policies, it is our positions, it is the work of the Biden administration. Although the president himself may not have been popular at the end of this election, it is those policies that are popular with the American people. It is the fight for freedom that people want more of, not less, which we will see, unfortunately, in this Trump administration. And so we have to continue to fight back now, much like yourself, like I am still trying to process the outcome of this election, and it has been difficult. And that is why what Tim Walz said right here felt so good to hear.
But look, folks, I just want to acknowledge the moment. It's hard. It's hard to lose. It's hard to understand while so many of our fellow citizens, people that we have fought so long and hard for, wound up choosing the other path. It's hard to reckon with what that path looks like over the next 4 years. So if you're feeling deflated, discouraged today, I get it. Take some time, take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, take care of your community. There's a million ways to make a positive difference, and get back in this fight when you're ready. And know that whenever you're ready to get back in that fight, I'll be standing right here ready to fight the fight with you.
A lot of us are tired. A lot of us are exhausted from the campaign. A lot of us are exhausted just from election night and trying to get past it, trying to get through it, trying to figure out how we are at this place. And so maybe that takes some time off. Maybe that means turning off the news. Maybe that means not watching me right now. And that's okay, because we are going to continue to fight no matter what. And we will all come back to this on January 20th. I hope ready to resist this administration and continue to call out their hate, which is exactly what Governor Walz did right here.
I do want to take a few minutes and talk about a few words about our path forward. I know there's a lot of folks that are worried about the next 4 years and what they're going to look like. I'm one of them. The agenda we heard from the other side in this campaign was very different from the one we know is right for our state and our country. We've already seen the damage a president can cause when he's in it for himself, not the American people. Look, we know what's coming down the pike. We know it because they told us. And we're going to have to be ready to defend the progress that we've made here in Minnesota. The other side spent a lot of time campaigning and talking about and promising that they would leave things up to the states. Well, I'm willing to take them at their word for that. But the moment they try and bring a hateful agenda in this state, I'm going to stand ready to stand up and fight for the way we do things here.
Now, while we are calling out the hate of the MAGA movement and what will be an even more destructive Trump administration, we also know that she won the popular vote. A majority of Americans saw the choice in this election and decided to pick Donald Trump. Now that should scare us all. That should worry us all. But it should also motivate us all. We know our positions are popular. We know Democrats are better at governing. I really do not like seeing this binary choice of which people say, oh, Donald Trump was elected because people decided they wanted a better economy over reproductive freedoms, or a better economy over human rights, or a better economy over what anything. No, Donald Trump and the Republican Party are not better on the economy. We are better. We are better at all of these things as Democrats, and we know that. So we have to find a better way to talk about it and find common ground with people so they can hear us and understand the truth. And that's exactly what Tim Walz said right here.
But I will say and acknowledge this: about 1.5 million of our fellow Minnesotans voted for the other side in this election. And while there might not be a place in our state for the most extreme elements of that agenda, there should be a place in our politics for everyone to be heard. I think sometimes we can be quick to judge people who don't agree with us, to assume that they act out of cruelty or fear or self-interest. I don't think that kind of judgment is helpful right now, and I don't think it's right. I think we ought to swallow, and this is me in this as I'm speaking about myself, swallow a little bit of pride and look a little harder to find common ground with our neighbors who didn't vote like we did in this election. Maybe we won't agree on every issue. Hell, maybe we won't agree on any issue. But maybe when the campaign signs come down, we all get a little break from the rhetoric and the TV ads and the fundraising texts, and I'm sorry about those. Maybe when we get a little break from this campaign that we're in, we'll be able to look at each other and see not enemies but neighbors. And maybe we'll be able to sit down over coffee or a Diet Mountain Dew and just talk. Talk about our kids. Talk about the lives we want to build for them. Talk about the things that really matter, how we treat each other, how we look out for each other, and how we support each other in difficult times. For my part, I'm going to try even harder to do that as governor. Nobody, not the DFLers, not Republicans, nobody has a monopoly on good intentions or good ideas. And now that this election is behind us, I'm going to try even harder to keep an open mind, open heart, and really listen to folks who don't support me or my policies, to work with everyone in the legislature to seek compromise and common ground. Because that's how we come back together after such a long time spent fighting each other. That's how we heal the rips in the fabric of our civic society, and that's how we move forward as one Minnesota.
It is time for some real soul searching in the Democratic Party to figure out how to talk to those who have tuned us out, to figure out how we can be in the spaces that we need to be in, to have people hear us, and we need to work at that. And it has become more important than ever that we brought in the big tent that we are in and make sure people know that we're not looking down on them, but trying to lift them up every single day. And that's going to be a difficult fight, especially when there is so much policy that will be uprooted, upended, and really just devastated during the Trump administration. But we still have time less to fight. We still have more months of the Biden administration. We need to put our foot on on the gas. And in one of those areas is climate action, which we desperately need. We have made so much climate progress under President Biden in the last 4 years, and we cannot stop it just because Donald Trump was elected right now. There are 5 mega polluting LNG facilities trying to get permits in the Gulf of Mexico. President Biden has to deny them, or we just let Donald Trump continue to destroy our climate, lock those in, and move on with more decades of pollution. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you're stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments or just say, "Hi, thank you for your support." And until next time, I'll see you soon.